so we still have this all that stuff. All you can do is start over again.
A joy from Kathy. It is a joy to be part of the Together New Orleans community. Our solar panels in the parking lot, on the parking lot side, have beautiful new covers. Check them out. From Joel, we have a joy. Susie celebrated our 60th wedding anniversary in June. Susie and I celebrated our 60th wedding anniversary in June, excuse me. And sorrow, what is this old? Or no, this is new. Not sure how much she understood of it. A joy from Jim O'Neill. A joy that our UU congregation continue conversation and cooperation. Also from Jim, a sadness that after over 50 years together, my brother John's wife Donna now needs an assisted memory care home. I have a joy, I'm not sure who from. Glad to be here, glad to be here for the presentation about Haiti's untold story. From Jacqueline, my son in LA had a cancer surgery this week. They found the original site and removed all cancer. He will still have radiation and chemo, but I am so thankful. We will light 2 more candles, one for the joys still bubbling up, too new to share, and one for the sorrows that we cannot yet put into words. Know that we hold you in our hearts.
Share some experience that I have. Now? Yes. Please let me know if you can't hear me by voice or gesture. An experience that I had when I went on a solo trip rather than the times that I've gone with Yvelyne, and it's very easy to just allow her to run the show and tell me what's going on and translate everything. I wanted to have this immersion trip where I was on my own. And so just a little bit about, there was a very devastating earthquake in January of 2010, several aftershocks added to the trauma. And it also occurred during midday when everyone was out and about, etc. More than 200,000 people were killed. It destroyed much of the capital, Port-au-Prince. 1.5 million people lost their homes and were moved into crowded camps and tent settlements. The Haitian government estimated that 300,000 persons were injured, and approximately 3,000 amputations were performed in the few weeks following the earthquake. And here's some views of the earthquake. And these are the 10 cities that were built. You can see USAID on the imprinted on the tops of those things, and they're very crowded, as you can see. And many people are still living in these tents that were constructed in 2010. So here's the trip that I took, and because our organization organization, HDH, was not having one of their trips at that time. I had to sort of find, I didn't want to go totally on my own, so I found this group called Hands of Light in Action. And it's really a one-woman show, a physical therapist in Michigan, who immediately after the earthquake, because she had experience in wound care and rehabilitation for people with amputations, she went down there as part of the medical first responders. And so this was her, she had gone there a couple of times during 2010, and then this was her first trip where she decided, she sort of got sucked into the soccer fever that a lot of countries have, including Haiti, and so she decided that she wanted to run a soccer camp. Well, I know nothing about soccer and have no interest in it, but she was very welcoming of whatever you can do. And so I figured, I'll find something to do. And I'm a bit of a pack rat, and whenever I went to a convention or whatever, and they hand out, duffel bags or, pen and pencil sets and all of that sort of stuff, little tablets, calculators. So I've just always saved them to give as school supplies here, but I had a lot of them. So I brought down suitcases of these supplies. And Yvelyne gave me the good idea of, why don't you buy some puzzles and jump ropes? They're really lightweight and they would be fun. So this woman organized the trip, and we stayed in a rural area on the eastern border by the Dominican Republic. And the area included this tent camp that was built after the earthquake. And actually it was a medical tent where they performed the amputations. Well, a year later they were no longer performing amputations, but they still had the tent camp there. And then this very generous philanthropist from the United States was building a housing community of these tiny houses. And if you've seen tiny houses here in the United States, it's just like that. It's basically 2 rooms, really, really narrow and everything. And Haitians still cook outside. It did not have indoor plumbing. They have outdoor outhouses, community outhouses. And they did not have a kitchen because Haitians conventionally cook outside. But it did have 2 bedrooms, or 1 bedroom and a sitting room. So I shared that house with a host family, and they were wonderful. And there were 20 of us in my group, and we socialized and played with residents of Camp Hope and our host families in Miracle Village. They organized daily soccer practices and games. We provided the equipment, uniforms, and transportation. So part of the fee that we paid her is she bought all of this soccer equipment and paid for transport to be brought down there. And it's just amazing. That was one thing that inspired me. I had no interest in soccer, but to see how kids just in the neighborhood played soccer. Many kids were shoeless, and so kids would stand along the side of the soccer field, and they would just rotate, taking turns playing soccer, sharing a pair of shoes, some of which were these flip-flops with rhinestones, etc., that had been donated by people from wherever. And to see these boys, and sometimes girls too, not so often, and they would just, after about playing for 10 minutes, they'd just go and they'd kick off their shoes, and the next kid would get in line, put on the shoes, and just to have this sense of real community about, we're going to make this happen no matter what. We purchased and planted needed shade trees. We transported water. They had a common well in this community. They also had solar panels, which was great for lighting, because the electricity in Haiti is pretty erratic. We donated and distributed clothes and shoes. We painted the interior of houses, these tiny houses that had been built, so some of them hadn't yet been painted on the inside or outside, so some of us did that. I worked one day in a large nearby orphanages, and we provided services specific to a volunteer's skills, like physical therapy or playing music or doing minor repairs. So this is what I did. I organized fun enrichment activities for young kids still living in the tents. These included jigsaw puzzles, drawing, singing, dodgeball, jump rope, etc. I had been a camp counselor for a couple of years, so I knew how to entertain people with very little. We talked about our countries, languages, lives. They were very interested in learning about my wife and children, my job and home, my impressions of Haiti. They taught me Creole phrases. We talked about their two-room school, which was created by that same philanthropist that was building the tiny houses, and about the new president, Martelli. He's a famous musician who until, Sweet Mickey is his name, and until 2010 had lived in the United States. And then 2 teenage girls volunteered to continue these youth activities, and I gave them the rest of my materials. So the first day I went out there, I just walked around the tent community, obviously looking like a very strange person there, unique. And about 4 kids came up to me and we started playing. And on the last day I had like 49 kids. And they actually, thanks to these 2 girls, did a farewell party for me. And they had a concert. I bought some food, etc. So it really expanded, and I satisfied my question of could I make it on my own in a country using my high school French. So here are 3 lessons that I learned. They're impressive coping and resilience. As someone who wants to see progress being made, I can be full of suggestions for how situations might be improved by doing X, Y, Z. In the village, I found myself so impressed and silenced by folks' apparent resilience, serenity, and perseverance in the face of adversity. They were making things happen. They were accomplishing their daily tasks despite all of the barriers. I wondered how I'd muster up the enormous endurance, acceptance, and ingenuity it takes to live for years in a small tent with your family. I was glad to see them coping, but still troubled about the huge disparities and opportunities for healthcare, jobs, housing, etc., between them and all of us in the U.S. Even our very poor homeless people who are in an inexcusable situation. But we do have food pantries and we have libraries that are air-conditioned and you can go in and sit for an hour or 2. The blessings of showing their appreciation. During the trip, I was concerned that even well-meant helpers like me can be seen as intrusive, overbearing, or clueless about the people and situations they want to improve. I also know Haitians value politeness to guests. For whatever reasons, I certainly felt welcomed and appreciated for visiting Haiti, volunteering, collaborating on a project, making an effort to communicate in their native language. Extroverted children were curious to talk to a person who looked and sounded so different from their mom. They wanted to know if I was enjoying my stay and if I liked Haiti, of which they are proud. And the final lesson that I learned is the grace of living without whining. Despite their lack of resources we have in abundance and take for granted, the majority of people I met were very pleasant, bright-eyed, uncomplaining, and quick to smile or laugh. They seemed undaunted by their difficult circumstances. This is not what I experience with many Americans I encounter or observe in the media, nor is it, I am sad to confess publicly, characteristic of myself a lot of the time, despite our comforts and conveniences aplenty. I can be impatient and complain about trivia. We are so spoiled and still complain a lot. The women and girls especially were so enterprising, energetic, and persevering. It inspired me to appreciate and emulate their spirit. And of course, when I came back, I got my students to get on board and learn about Haiti and do advocacy projects and start a Facebook page and do fundraising, etc. So, thanks. Okay, now it's time for our audiovisual homily, which I hope you can that we felt like the visual part of it was really powerful, and we wanted to share that. Okay. So, in the midst of the storm, supporting education and employment in Haiti. Good morning, bon matin, which is, that's the Creole spelling of it. It's also the French version. We are so grateful and excited for this opportunity to share our personal and spiritual growth through volunteer service in collaboration with folks in Haiti. We hope you were engaged by our unconventional audio-visual homily that selectively highlights what we have experienced and what we have learned from the inspiringly resilient, imaginative, and hopeful people we have worked with along this journey. So, what we do is part of living our UU principles as we support Haiti to achieve stability and serenity, especially in these oppressive times. We are guided by our UU principles. In particular, these two, affirming the inherent worth and dignity of every person and promoting the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. How our work with Haiti began. Yvelyne was also already introduced as a Haitian native, fluent in Creole and French, loves her motherland and her people, and has endless energy and creativity to solve problems collaboratively. I'm her husband of 42 years, a project partner, and I have enough French skills to make myself understood and converse and express my appreciation and involvement. Haitian Association for Human Development, the website is AHDH, and that's not a typo, it's according to the French name of it, which is the official name of it in French, that typically the adjective follows the noun, and so it's Association Haitienne de Développement Humain. So that's why it's AHDH. It's a grassroots group of Haitians in New Orleans motivated to give back to their native land. Yvelyne joined AHDH in 1987, and for 36 years she served as a board member or its president. AHDH is a nonprofit that organizes medical missions and other service trips to Haiti. It is the fiscal agent for tax-deductible donations for all its projects, including Yvelyne's that are focused on education and career development. Here are just some, to provide a context, some education statistics. Approximately 30% of children attending primary school will not make it to the 3rd grade. 60% will have to leave school before the 6th grade. Only 29% of Haitians 25 and older attend secondary school. Less than 1% of high school graduates in Haiti attend post-secondary education. And 90% of schools are private and managed by communities, religious organizations, or other service agencies. Thus, there is virtually no public education system. So every school, it requires tuition and a uniform and paying for your own books, etc. Our project partners. For several years, Yvelyne organized a trip with U.S. volunteers. They brought equipment and supplies to run a 2-week summer camp in her childhood neighborhood in Rivière-Flotte, near the capital, Port-au-Prince. It included academic classes and cultural enrichment activities. Over time, she developed trusting relationships with several community leaders who are our partners today, implementing the current projects. So this is how we're able to do it despite the pandemic and now the political instability and gang violence. These partners are elder women leaders in the 10 communities that have bound since the 2010 earthquake, grads of her camps, now young adults who have completed high school and are eager to work, but there are very, very limited job opportunities, and principals with whom she negotiated use of school space for the summer camp and after-school tutoring. Though most people in the community are poor by Haitian standards, many have access to a cell phone and public Wi-Fi. So Yvelyne holds project meetings with our partners by using the free WhatsApp platform and gets updates almost daily. So now Yvelyne will tell you about her project.
So, look at the picture that you have in your order of service. And the woman to the left there is Amalia. And you notice she's holding a pair of running shoes. Those are from Henry's students. They fundraised. They had a whole bunch of shoes, and at that time, we went to Haiti like 3 or 4 times a year on mission trips. We are actually able to bring them, and so this was a picture of saying thank you to Henry's class for the shoes. But there's Amalia right there. So I go every summer for 2 weeks, and it's in the dead of the summer, August, because that's when the kids are off and they have nothing to do. And one day Amalia said to me, you know what? We really appreciate these camps, but they were living in a tent before the earthquake in the back of Good Samaritan School. And their kids could not go to Good Samaritan because they didn't have the money. So she said, is there anything you can do about trying to get some support so that we can get our kids to go to school? So here's Amalia. I developed this relationship with her. And then working through AHDH, we couldn't pay the entire tuition, but we gave each parent $50. And that helped to get the kids into school. But after a while, we started thinking, is there a way that we could help that community to become sustainable? So we got it was basically a women community. In Haiti, the women are the leaders of the family. The guys are working and the women are there making everything else happen. So I told her to get a couple of the women in that community together and let us know, is there something they could do that the association might be able to launch and that would eventually become sustainable. And one of the leaders said, well, how about a pharmacy? There's no pharmacy in that area. By the way, this is the area where I'm from, Livier-Froid, Cold River, way up in the mountains of Port-au-Prince. And the other group said, no. She was a nurse. She couldn't find a job. But she said, you're the only one who knows about nursing. What we know how to do, we can sell. Because a lot of them would just go in the corner and sell whatever they had. We know how to sell. And so, okay. So we decided AHDH decided to help them to rent a space, a two-room space where they could, one would be a storefront where they would sell their products, and the other one they would have storage. And they sold things like oil, rice, beans, basic commodities, sugar, things like that. And till this day, they're still working. Now, does it pay for the tuition all the way? No, but it does help. So the next one is Alexis. Alexis actually is one of our graduates from the photography class. When I went to Haiti, we had a lower class with coloring and math and English for the little kids and dancing. And then we had an English class, and it was taught by Haitians. If you graduate school in Haiti, you can talk English. You can get by in English. So we had one of the Haitian students there teach English to the middle grades. And then for the high school, at the time I was a professor at UNO, and UNO they had me in the newsletter about what I was doing in Haiti. And Aria, who was a photography professor there, read it and came and said, Yvelyne, I'd love to go to Haiti with you. I said, that would be great. So for 5 years, she went to Haiti, and she bought friends, and she bought cameras, and the cameras were left behind so that they could continue to learn and help others to learn from it. Alexis, right now, you'll see the work of Alexis in a bit, because I'm going to show you what he's able to do in terms of creating videos. But anyway, it was at a point where he says to me, and he calls me godmother, said, Marian, I had this wonderful skill, but I have nothing to do with it. There's no community here. And so I thought, okay, let's see what we can do. We have kids right now who are failing, and you saw the statistics. And I said, all right. I said, Alexis, can you get other kids who have graduated high school? They must have graduated. And what I'm going to want you to do is to find a school where you would be able to tutor those kids that the principal has said are going to fail. For the past 2 years, we've been doing exactly that. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those kids who would likely fail, My tutors, as I call them, those are the graduates who have nothing to do, are now tutoring the next generation. And AHDH pays the tutors every month. So here's a nice little cycle that happened with that. But an interesting thing about this is also Alexis one day, because I've always told them, look out in the community and see if there are things that need to be done that we might be able to help with. And one day he said, Marraine, you've got to see this. And he sent me this picture of a school, and I'm going to put that in quotation mark, a school. And he said, is there any way that the association might be able to help us? Because this is the poorest of the poor. And I said, oh no, I don't know, we're going to have to see what we can do. So, by the way, Alexis, we helped Alexis to have a photography studio in Rivière-Froide, and he was doing very well until the gangs came in that area, and he just had to stop. But right now, things are back to normal in Rivière-Froide, and school is going on, so he's able to maintain his job. So I'm going to show you this video that he made with the equipment that AHDH sent him, including a drone, okay? We're going to see the video that he made of this school in Port-au-Prince. And we call it AHDH Helps Build Hope in Haiti.
Bill, can you hear the sound?
It's probably in a YouTube. It's a different one. So when you hit on that, it probably to a YouTube video. You have a, so you might have to do more. This is what we do for
And we actually did a test run on Thursday. And it worked. Smoothly.
It's showing.
With the light, so now we have to take this.
To enroll and graduate from school are especially challenging for parents and students. Parents have to pay for tuition, supplies, and uniform, and yet have no steady income. Many students have to walk long distances in the hilly areas to get to school, rain or not. Thus, they wake up before 5 a.m., and they often head for school without getting breakfast or even bringing any lunch. But with your help, AHDH can build a school that will be accessible to many of these children.
Yeah.
So we saw this in,
Microphone.
So we saw this, and then we met with the, how do I get back to the PowerPoint? And then we met with the principal of the school. We didn't meet, WhatsApp. WhatsApp is as though you met with the principal. It's unbelievable that it's as though I was talking to someone next door. Thank God. If they ever got rid of WhatsApp, we'd be done. But with that app, wow, we saw pictures, we sent videos back and forth. By the way, that voiceover, which was me talking, he sent me the video to look at. I called him on WhatsApp. I said what I had to say, and then he superimposed it on the video. It's incredible. So he's developed this skill as a result of the work that we did in Haiti, going with Aria from UNO. But when we saw the school, as you can see, here's the outside of the school. I mean, what do the kids do when it rains, right? A lot of work needs to be done, and I wasn't exactly sure how we could help because we're not really a big organization, and we're doing various projects already. And so I spoke with the principal and I said, well, can you tell me, no promises, but could you just make a budget, get some estimates? What would it cost to actually build, you need 7 classrooms? What would it cost to do that? And it can't be in brick because it's going to be too much money, but at any rate, he did get us an estimate. One, if a very sturdy with wood, would be about 15,000. But if you wanted brick, it would be 63. I said, well, the 15, even that's too much for us, but let's see how we can start. This was in May, and they have one more school left 1 month of school left. And so I spoke to the association, and in that video, you would see this one kid who says, you know, I traveled very far to get to this school. And you see his shoes are all worn out. And he said, most time I leave, I don't even have time for, I don't even have breakfast. And then when I come to school, kids don't get lunch. I mean, we have situations like that here too, right? And we know if you're sitting there with an empty stomach, you're not able to hear anything. So the association decided, let's try to get these kids a hot meal. We've got 1 month left, 30 days, 50 kids, $1,500, $1 a day. And the principal actually sent me the ledger, what it costs for the rice, what it costs for the beans and the oil, and they put tuna in it, and how much it costs to take the top to go to buy it, the whole stuff. It came out to be, if we could provide a $1 a day, we'd feed these, for each kid, we'd feed them. So we sent the 1,500, and I want to show you what happened with that. But by the way, this is a picture of the desired school, if we could get that done. It includes a little kitchen area, that little place, there's a kitchen. It has a place for the principal, the classrooms, there would be about 7 classrooms like that. You also need water. So there's a reservoir there and an outhouse, separated into 3 parts, boys, girl, and teachers. And that would be about 15, but what we also want to do is you can have this good structure and the kids can't go because they can't pay the tuition. So, but we have to start somewhere, so we decided to start with food, because that one we could tackle them. And what you'll see there is that there's 50 of them. We told the kids, bring your own plate from school, because typically what will happen is that all this styrofoam, Haiti already can't recycle, let alone littering the place with all these styrofoam plates. So they bought their own utensils from home, and then we had someone actually cook the food for them, and the kids were eating. All right, so I wanted to show you a 1-minute video. Do you know how to get the video on? So we don't have the same thing happening again. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, so that's the YouTube. being cooked outdoors. Don't ask me what happens if it breaks, I don't know. Well, again, you got the idea. So we got a woman to cook outside for us, the 2 helpers, and she cooked the food. Every kid for that month of school got a hot lunch. Oh, it's still on? All right, so what we're going to be trying to do is to fundraise to see what else we can do with the school, and it's a day at a time. You know, we made no promises, we just said we would try to do what we can. Hold on. That music, by the way, was also created, it's original. Because I told them I'm going to want to be able to use this. I don't want to use any voiceover from anybody else so that, you know, it becomes AHTH property so we have no fear. So one of them is, you know, a lot of the kids are into rap also, just like our youngsters are here. And so they're putting their stuff up on, as Henry says, everybody has a phone. So a lot of them have this technological skills. And with, they have various studios that you can go to and pay a fee so that you can actually produce your own thing. And that's how he was able to produce that background song. Okay, so project number 2, this is fine, okay, Henry, is these are our tutors. They're getting together, they're planning just like teachers, how are we gonna do this, what's gonna come. Now, I didn't give them, I'm a university professor, what I did was mathematics education. So I had the tools to teach them how to be teachers, but there was no time. It was like, get out there, get those kids out of there, start doing what you gotta do. What we wanted to do was to get the kids books and get the school to say, okay, they could tutor the kids. But here they are, they're planning, and $480 allowed us to get books for kids from, whoa, let's enjoy the music while I talk. So for $480, we're able to get the kids books from K through 5, but not every child had a book. We got one so they could share, and that worked. So, so that's why you see them having the books there. So that's one of the things we did. Another thing that we did was in the summer, and we've been doing this a lot. Again, it's part of the summer camp when I used to go to Haiti. Right now, I can't go to Haiti because I'd have a big dollar sign for kidnappers, right? Can't go to Haiti now. However, I'm doing a lot more than when I used to go with my partners. The summer camps that I used to have are occurring right as we speak. And they're a lot more powerful than what I did with the kids. Right now we have sandal making. They're not only engaging the kids, but they're learning a trade. So we have a class in sandal making, motorcycle repair. That's what's taken over the whole city. Everybody's hiring a motorcycle to go everywhere, and they need to be repaired. We've been having that going for 2 years. Also computer skills. They'll rent a computer, $43 for a month, and then we can have a tutor whom we pay teach basic computer skills. And here you'll see plumbing, you know, and you can see the kids. I have more pictures up. You'll see them using the ruler, which is always a chore for me as a math teacher because kids can't read fractions on a ruler. So I'm saying, take this opportunity, make it a math lesson. Okay, so they're taking the rulers to measure, to try to figure out how to make, where to place the plumbing. And that blue chemical you see there, we called it chemical class, but they taught the kids how to make shampoo, detergent, vinegar, you know? So they've gotten those skills. Another area we have is in Jacmel. We have another 50 kids there. We also have another 400 kids in Gomboulage. By the way, Fennell, raise your hand, Fennell. Fennell is another founder of the association, and she directs another project in Gomboulage. And I must say, the projects that we have, we're from that area. The money goes to that area. There's no Clinton involved. There's no big foundation. HDH, we're small. Whatever money we get, we take to Haiti. Or, I'll show you how else we do it. You see there? That bank account? That's WhatsApp, right? So Alexis, I'll send Alexis the money to pay for the tutors or to pay for the books or whatever. Alexis will show me when it comes in. The Haitian banks takes out $30. Marine, here's what's left in the account. Whenever a transaction happens, I get a picture and an explanation of what's going on. And I tell Alexis, it's not that I don't trust you, it's what Americans call transparency. If we can't justify it to our donors, we will not have a program. Okay? I'll let Henry take over. This is Harkin.
Just our last little sharing of experience that we have involving Haitians is by way of helping here at home by hosting kids sponsored for surgery by Heart Gift at Children's Hospital. These are children from under-resourced countries that are identified and come to one of 7 sites in the United States, and Children's Hospital in New Orleans is one of them. And as the host family, we provide room and board, transportation, translation at appointments, emotional support for the child and the accompanying adult. At least one person in the household has to be a native speaker, and we have hosted several kids from Haiti and one from Burkina Faso. This is Muridier, who was our most recent. He was with us in June, and May or June, and he's got very sad eyes. He had almost no energy because of his cardiac insufficiency. And this is Muridier after his surgery, and he's up and about, we brought him to the zoo and the aquarium or whatever. He played, Yvelyne taught him how to play cards, and I would come down and I'd say, Yvelyne, it's almost midnight. They're in this competitive card game, and he'd say, oh God, don't let me get the old maid. It was really fun. And this is me with Bushra and her mom from Burkina Faso. She was the feistiest little girl I've ever had. We had a great relationship, but she was like the CEO. She was in charge. And, so examples of what a donation can provide. $50 to get uniform and shoes, tuition for one student, $100 for books and school supplies, $200 for hot nutritious lunch for one student for the whole year. Uniform, tuition, supplies, the whole thing would be $400. $500 is one summer camp for 20 kids, like we showed you the moped repair, etc. And $1,000 with your name on a classroom if you want to contribute to our things. And anyone can make a difference and be a part of it. So they're giving the love sign, and so this quote that I learned from First Church's very poetic president, Beverly Rainbow, who many of you know, captures the insight and inspiration we have acquired through our work in Haiti. I slept and dreamt that life was joy. I awoke and saw that life was service. I acted, and behold, service was joy. By Rabindranath Tagore. And let's all say amen and namaste to that. Amen. Thank you very much for your kind attention, interest, and fellowship as our sister UU congregation here in New Orleans.
Thank you so much for that, Henry and Yvelyne. I learned a lot. Community Church Unitarian Universalist is a self-sustaining congregation. Members' and friends' generosity help us do the sacred work of bringing justice, spirituality, and compassion to our community and beyond. You can give online at ccuunola.org/stewardship or by text at 504-370-2659. Text give. And you can give in person this morning. For our offertory song, Yvelyne will play for us Haiti Chérie,
which means Dear Haiti. It's not the national anthem, but you would think it is. Harry Belafonte actually made a translation of this in English, so after I do it in Haitian Creole, I'll then sing it in English. This mic will just stay up. It keeps This is good, thank you. Haïti chérie, plus bon pays, passé où l'en point. Faut que moi t'ai quitté, pour moi t'es capable de comprendre valeur. Faut que moi t'ai laissé, pour m'être capable d'apprécier. Pour me sentir vraiment tout ça où t'es pour moi. Oh, quel bon soleil, bon rivière et bon breuvage. En papier bois, où toujours joint bon langage. Quelle pauvre fraîcheur qui par nous bon petit couleur. Haïti chérie, plus bon pays, passé où l'on point. Oh my dear Haiti, says Haiti is my beloved land. Oh, I never knew how I had to leave you to understand just how much I missed the gallant citadel, eighth wonder of the world, where days long ago brave men served their country well, where the sun is bright with evening of soft moonlight, shaded trees, Creole maiden for company, a gentle breeze, a warm caress, if you please, work, laughter, and play, yes, we'll always be this way.
As we sit here in security and serenity and hopefulness to start the week ahead, let us carry the lessons that we learn from each other, from our Unitarian Universalist faith, and from people in Haiti and other parts of the world who could be very examples for us to live a life that's full spiritually, even if materially and in terms of economically, etc., we are considered deprived. So let us carry that message of hope and peace, love, compassion, and support in concrete ways to all our fellow citizens and members of mankind, near and far. Amen. Namaste.
Please join me in extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish the chalice here, that it might glow gently in our hearts. May it light the path as you leave this place. May it guide the way until we are together again. Please join us for refreshments and conversation in the fellowship hall. There's also a fundraiser for ADH in the fellowship hall after the service.